It took Fallout 76 2 months to die. It took Dragon Age Railguard a month to die. It took Concord 2 weeks to die. And it has taken about 24 hours to die. But this game only took 6 hours to die.
The gacha game industry has had its fair share of massively popular hits, but at the same time, while you hear about the glamorous successes of these giants, you never hear about the ones that were, not so successful. I went on the journey to find just how atrociously bad some of these gachas are, and listed a couple that shut down extremely shortly after its launch. I found some that never reached the first anniversary, some that never reached the 6-month mark, but among them, I found an extremely interesting case. What if I told you that the gacha game we will talk about in this video, due to glaring issues with its launch relating to bugs and optimization—
Whoa! Notice how that took me probably less than a second to react? Yes. When humans are pushed to the limit, our true capabilities shine the brightest. Yeah, this is gonna be something that people talk about. Okay, there's gonna be some debate around what's happening here.
Was shut down indefinitely in just 6 hours from the time of release. Join me today as we explore one of the most intriguing—
Yeah, I mean, they know what's up, okay? This is the oldest trick in the book, okay? A strap that doesn't actually strap anything, but it's a bit around the boobs, so, you know, it's 10 out of 10.
outliers in gacha game development, and explain why this one innocent title from an indie studio had its life cut extremely short. Let's start from the beginning. It's only fair that we introduce the players to the stage first. The name of the short-lived gacha game is called Immortals Muv-Luv Alternative. I know 90% of you are thinking,
Muv-Luv?
what in hell is a Muv-Luv? Well,
Yep.
sit down, because we'll be here for a while. Muv-Luv is a trilogy of visual novels released in the 2000s that capitalize on the craze on dating sims in the mecha genre for its time. The full story is split into 3 different titles.
Oh, that looks like something from Evangelion. Look at this, boys. Holy, yep.
3 different titles: Muv-Luv Extra, Muv-Luv Unlimited, and Muv-Luv Alternative.
Hell yeah! Okay, how did this die in 6 hours? I mean, this looks like a modern masterpiece at this rate.
Each are direct sequels to the previous, and while you might just dismiss this as another cash grab of its era, Muv-Luv Alternative up until 2023 was the highest rated visual novel of all time according to VNDB, the largest database for visual novel media in the West. Even toppling all-time classics such as Steins Gate, Clannad,
Steins Gate is really good.
and Fate Stay Night.
Don't know what this is, but Fate is goated, okay? Listen, boys, listen, okay? Fate is the franchise that created the beam. Don't worry about it, okay? The moon is an eldritch vampire god. Don't worry about it. There's an alternative universe that's threatening to destroy the existence. Don't worry about it. You're cooking supper, okay? Don't worry about it. That Fate is literally... Don't worry about it, the series. I love it so much. It's so good. Okay? But be sure to Google how to read Watch Fate if you're into that, because good luck otherwise.
This title is a big deal to the visual novel community, having received overwhelming praise and slated as a must-read by some fans of the
Jesus, look at this graph. Damn.
medium. Even Hajime Isayama, the primary manga artist for Attack on Titan, stated to have received a lot of influence from Muv-Luv. What's even more surprising, I read it. The entire trilogy.
Okay.
Back in my college years, I used to have a visual novel craze, reading all the highest rated titles I could find, such as Umineko, Kyle's Child, Baldur's Sky, Your Legend if you know these by the way. I had a lot of time on my hands, and Muv-Luv, after having seen all the praise, was also one I decided to tackle. I'll be giving a brief overview regarding the trilogy. There will be no major spoilers, and I will only include the details I think will be critically important to know about it in this video. The Muv-Luv trilogy is written by a company named DIEDEAD, a Japanese visual novel studio that has had its fair share.
Okay, we're almost done with the history segment.
of works released dating all the way back to 1999, with their works primarily consisting of eroge, which is just a visual novel term
Eroge. Okay, I think I get it.
for erotic game, where 18
What can I say? I have a history.
plus dating sims. Very standard stuff for its time. Muv-Luv was their crown jewel back in the days. In order to find out what the big deal was with Alternative, we have to start from the first entry in the trilogy. Muv-Luv Extra. Released on February 28,
Wait,
2003,
we're still doing... This is insane!
Extra features the main protagonist, Takeru, a carefree, video game-loving teenage boy attending high school in modern day
Yes. The every anime ever thing.
Japan. Well, modern in the 2000s at least. His personality is as plain as it gets, very typical from something like a harem anime. He spends time with his childhood friend Sumika, who happens to live next door and can talk to each other from their bedroom windows. They share a close relationship.
Wait, where have I seen this before? I forgot. Was this your line April? No, it wasn't. It was something else. Shit, I can't remember, but there was something else. Oh, right. The little girl with a mini skirt, she's small in size. She was tsundere. She had the long hair, red uniform. What was that shit called? God, I hated it. It was one of the worst things ever. Oh, I hated it so much. One of the absolute worst things ever, and it's like supposed to be one of the greatest. Let me actually find it. Let me actually find it. Top 20 tsunderes. There we go. Oh, look at that. It's literally there. From sources across the web. Toradora. There we go. Literally right there. Fuck, I hate Toradora. Literally. Dude, okay, listen. If you want to get me riled, I can go on a day probably complaining how shitty Your Lie in April is and how absolutely disgusting and stupid Toradora is. Okay? Don't challenge me. We're gonna be here forever.
In their daily lives, and is heavily implied to be Takeru's primary love interest. That is, until one day out of the blue, he wakes up to find that someone else was in bed with him. It was Meiya, the sole heiress to the Mitsurugi Group, one of the largest corporate conglomerates in the world. Taken aback by this revelation, Takeru had some explaining to do to Sumika. But what on earth was one of the most powerful figures in Japan doing in this random teenage otaku's room? The story of Extra essentially follows Sumika and Meiya as the two main heroines. And alongside the rest of Takeru's harem, we have Chizuru, the diligent class of head, Kei, the quiet tsundere, Miki, the outgoing lolly whose hair can cut fruit, and Mikoto, who is a trap.
That's about right.
That is all.
Oh,
the overarching story of Extra is extremely run-of.
By the way, again,
is a trap.
Just to point out Fate's stay relevance in the cultural zeitgeist. That you know, you have seen this, and people have told you don't, because there's a penis there. Okay, a feminine penis in this situation, some might say, but still, that's a penis. Okay. And yeah, this is from Fate. Fate Apocrypha, to be more precise. Alfonso, 10 out of 10 Griffin.
That is all. The overarching story of Extra is extremely run-of-the-mill. School events, class field trips, club competitions, it's your usual rom-com trope where you dedicate to a character's story arc and learn more about them. It's a lighthearted comedy where wholesome things happen, and that's really it. It's so plain it's scary, almost as if something sinister is about to happen. Before I continue with Muv-Luv Unlimited, I will be spoiling the ending of it, but will not go into too much detail. This is because I think understanding how Unlimited ends is vital to understanding the context of Alternative. But if you prefer to keep the surprise for yourself, you can skip to the following time.
Yeah, it's like I'm not even watching. It's like I'm not even watching it.
Stamp to go straight into the overview for the next title, which I will not spoil. The next entry in the trilogy.
Do we care, boys? I mean, I kind of want to know why the game fell apart, but this history is kind of wild. I guess you can skip ahead if you want.
Muv-Luv Unlimited will unlock when you clear both Sumika and Meiya's story routes. They are packaged together in one game, which is just named
Oh.
Muv-Luv on Steam. In Unlimited, Takeru wakes up as usual, except to his surprise, nobody came to wake him up, which is how it was in Extra. Opening the door outside, he finds that the world seemingly has been utterly obliterated. His cheerful, romantic high school lifestyle, now in ruins, it's a war-torn wasteland as far as the eye can see. Feeling lost, Takeru runs to where his high school used to be, and unexpectedly gets detained by armed soldiers. He is brought to Yuko, who was a professor in the
Nice.
Extra universe, and was explained that this version of the world that he woke up in has been invaded by an alien species known as the Beta. They have ravaged the planet, and every effort to fight against them have been fruitless. Takeru's high school, now repurposed as a military base, is researching a secret weapon to take the offensive in this losing war, codenamed Alternative 4. Takeru is then assigned to a squad of troopers, unexpectedly consisting of his harem from Extra, except for Sumika. She is nowhere to be seen. This universe's Maya and others, having no idea who Takeru is, decide to take him under their wing, conduct training sessions, combat practice, and rebuild their bond together as squadmates. This version of Takeru, grossly out of shape, struggles to keep up with his tasks in training, and can't help but feeling that he took his cheerful, worry-free life for granted. Combat against the Beta is primarily done by suiting up in giant mechanized robots called TSFs, or
I mean, obviously, I guess.
tactical surface fighters, and taking control from within. Having conducted many training sessions in these clunky heavy suits, the gang was just about to battle betas for real until an announcement came over the speakers one night, requesting all personnel to evacuate. A panicked Takeru scrambles into Professor Yuko's office, demanding an explanation, only to find that she is drunk out of her mind, and can only utter the words that she has failed. Alternative 4 did not succeed. As a contingency plan, the operation known as Alternative 5 has commenced instead. Reluctantly following along, they soon realize the result of their predicament. There is no hope left for humanity. There is no way to win against the Beta.
Oh shit, maybe you should have called it the Alpha, not the Beta then, bitch.
The plan of Alternative 5 is to
Wow.
scrounge up the last of humanity and blast off to another colony, leaving Earth behind. This is the somber tone that Unlimited ends on. A very non-ending,
Wow.
if you will. And now, we move on to the big one. If you look for the description of Muv-Luv Alternative on VNDB, it reads, "A destiny tossed about in an insane world, a flame of fire blazing forth in a dying world, and now one more future that is spun. This is the alternative ending unable to be told before. A very great, a very tiny, a very precious tale of love and courage. Even the Steam page hypes it up as something once in a lifetime. This is the
Wait, how many reviews does this have? None? Oh, recent reviews, 43. And all reviews, 2K. Almost 2.4K. Overwhelmingly positive. Shit, boy!
once in a lifetime. This is the crown jewel of Aj as a company, and the title that will conclusively seal Muv-Luv Alternative as one of the best stories ever written. Released on February 24, 2006. In Alternative, Takeru wakes up in the same dilapidated room, opening up to the same ruined city. But this time, he has retained all of the knowledge from the previous world, and realized that he can make a difference this time. With skillful understanding of combat and intel, he must help this version of the world achieve victory for the first time in this hopeless battle against the Beta. What on earth was the secret weapon known as Alternative 4?
Dude, why does... Okay, we're kind of listening to it, but at this point, this is... Just the overview sounds so much better than literally 99.999% games that are coming out. Like, no joke. Am I the only one who thinks that? At this point, this sounds like so 100 times better than almost literally anything that comes out.
Where is Sumika? And what is the true origins of the alien invaders? What you'll find in this 30 to 50 hour journey is a gripping tale of political feuds, coming of age, and thrilling mecha combat. Alternative is a far cry from the slice-of-life rom-com from Extra. It does a complete 180 on its genre and throws you in on a world that is unbelievably well written. The stakes are as high as ever, as characters literally die in this, and I'm even afraid to reveal what the alien betas look like, as I think it's a bit of a major spoiler on its own. If you do plan on getting into
Muv-Luv. Is that how it's spelled? Yeah, Muv-Luv Alternative. Betas? Let's see how they look. Not sure what I'm supposed to take from it. Alien betas human, maybe? Because now, I mean, what am I supposed to gauge from this? This doesn't look that special, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, none of this looks really that special. Oh shit, does this have an anime? Little episode 2. Oh my god, they're getting literally eaten. Oh wow, this does get pretty dark. Holy shit. Oh wow, there's episodes to this. I'm gonna watch this later. Holy shit. Oh, the aliens just transformed humans or something? Oh, this is wild. Yeah, I'm not gonna show you this, by the way. Boys. Yeah, this is pretty wild. Okay, don't know how the alien look is a spoiler, but I think there's an anime. I'm gonna watch that.
To the franchise, even though I've gone over an overview of Extra and Unlimited, don't just think you can head straight into Alternative. As plain and generic the previous 2 entries are, they have vitally important character build-up and can ease your way into understanding them better. Whatever you do, do not watch the Muv-Luv Alternative anime. It is terrible and loses out on a lot of the charms the visual novel had. With that out of the way,
well, maybe I won't then. Oh damn, that's a roller coaster of emotions.
We now have a basic understanding of the history and impact that the Muv-Luv franchise has had, and we are ready to dive into Immortals, Muv-Luv Alternative.
There's more?
Would later rebrand itself as a company called Anchor. Yes, only the A is lowercase. And after realizing the massive success of the Muv-Luv franchise, they wanted to branch out and create spin-offs and other projects to expand the universe. Now, there have been multiple other visual novels released after Alternative, but without spoiling too much, Alternative has a bittersweet but conclusive ending. It didn't end on a vague or cliffhanger the way Unlimited did. To the casual fans, most will mark Alternative as the end of the trilogy. Visual novels are generally considered a dying medium in today's world. Muv-Luv has had its fair share of fans in Japan and globally, but it's not a booming franchise like Fate, for example. Anchor wanted to try their hand at developing a Muv-Luv live service gacha game, originally advertised as a brand new story in the Alternative timeline, where you will collect anime waifus wearing skin-tight bodysuits manning giant mecha robots.
I mean, both of those decisions sound smart.
I don't think there has been a gacha game directly appealing to the mecha genre, though I think Gundam did have a gacha game come out recently. But come on, this is a winning formula. What can possibly go wrong? Originally announced in 2020, Immortals Muv-Luv Alternative was a new project that was slated to release sometime in February of 2022. Though there was a slight delay announced, and the release window will be pushed back to March. The game would officially launch on March 17, 2022, at 4 p.m. Japan time. However, because of a round of sweeping out last-minute bugs, maintenance will be extended to 6 p.m., then to 6:30 p.m. Maintenance ends, but because the server overloads, the game was temporarily closed down into another maintenance session.
Wow.
Devs announced it will take longer than usual to address, and finally, 24 hours later, the game would at last reopen on March 18, 4 p.m. This is the beginning of the 6-hour lifespan that the game had. And while we're talking about its launch date, let's see what the game is about anyways. So Immortals is kinda like a twin-stick shooter, more of a single-stick shooter actually, where you assemble a squad of 4 members and you move around a map. When an enemy enters the attack zone, your team will automatically fire at them, and there's some cool skills you can use as well. Obviously, this version of the game can no longer be played, so the footage I gathered may not—
I mean, more skill requirements than Genshin. Yeah, I fucking said it. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
show the best results, as they came from external sources. During its first couple hours, the game received generally okay receptions. Looking back at the aftermath of the shutdown, players were satisfied with the art style and the idea of the Muv-Luv universe being expanded. What they weren't so satisfied were, well, for one thing, the SSR rate was 1%, with no pity system. Even 2 years ago in 2022, this was not a good idea. Genshin Impact had already released, which was a huge turning point for the gacha industry, and with the pity system being pretty much the norm these days, it's clear that the game wanted to capitalize on the dedication of the franchise's fans. Bro thinks he's FGO, but I'm sorry, because only FGO gets to be FGO.
FGO is Fate Grand Order, by the way. Again, I'm not saying the plebeians who don't understand anything Fate are destined to die a painful and miserable death because their lives have been hollow and meaningless. But maybe, okay, maybe a lot. Maybe definitely, okay? Maybe punishments are required, okay? I didn't make the rules.
The cherry on top, the chance for the rate-up character is a 50% coin flip, versus FGO's 80% or formerly 70% rate-up chance. This is literally worse. I would have immediately dipped out as soon as I saw that. The story was also not voiced, so only from the combat lines can you hear what the characters actually sound like. There's no character profiles or interludes, so while longtime fans would know the iconic Meiya or Takeru, newcomers could not find more about the units they were pulling for. Aside from that, the game had its fair share of bugs, and obviously as a live service, you can kind of brush it under the rug as it's expected that these bugs will be ironed out later. So there's that. Something else I should mention is that Edge, or Anchor, is not experienced in developing live service games. With Immortals releasing exclusively on mobile, they could kinda get away with not implementing some security features since Google Play or Apple can kinda safeguard it. In any case, the bread and butter of any gacha game's revenue is through the purchase of the gacha currency needed to pull more on the virtual slot machine.
Yeah.
This is the primary way for any gacha to make money.
God, it makes me so fucking sick when I see any of these screens and it's like, oh, buy this, and you know, the big one, the one that you actually everyone wants to buy is like, I hate it so much. I hate seeing these screens. They're just pain.
Game, this is your golden goose. You gotta lock up that currency tight and take the best security measures to prevent any hackers or exploits from rolling on that sweet gacha. Otherwise, there will be no point, and some players can just get away with all the shiny characters for free and... Oh.
They did?
A bug. A nasty one. At around 5 PM, 1 hour into the game's launch, a critical bug was discovered that since the game lets you use a guest account to begin playing and migrate that into an actual account later, if you just kept restarting the game and keep making new guest accounts, then the gacha currency you had from the previous guest account will carry over to the next, which broke the economy, which rendered the entire point of making revenue on the game completely pointless. The same bug will be discovered on Apple devices later, around an hour and a half later at 6:30 PM. As you might imagine, Anchor was not pleased with this outcome. In an attempt to deter people from using this exploit, they tweeted that any users found guilty of the act would have their account banned. Now, this may have worked if the bug occurred way later into the game's launch, where players were afraid to lose the progress they made on the account. But since this is launch day we're talking about, if you get banned, well, just make another. On the same night of March 18th, at around 10:30 PM, the game entered emergency maintenance, with no definite end time.
Again? Jesus. Now, the strangest thing is like, okay, 6 hours, but... Did they not have players, or what is the deal that it's actually, like, dead? It just makes so little sense in my eyes.
On the following day, a tweet stated that in order to address some critical issues, there was a possibility of maintenance being performed for an extended amount of time, and that it was unlikely it will be resolved in the following 3-day holiday. Well, we now know that this would mark the end of Immortals Muv-Luv Alternative. An apology stream was aired, refunds were issued, and that is how this game would rise and fall in just one evening.
Yeah, that is insane. Again, it's like, okay, yeah, this was bad, but it's a fucking mobile game, my dude. Serial, you know what I mean? Like, well, damn, boy, what are we doing? Okay? Why not keep it up? I completely don't understand this. Is it because it's a Japanese company and they're like, okay, well, my honor of the family has been kind of smirched. Time to commit a little bit of that sweet, sweet harakiri? Don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Now, with the power of hindsight, this maintenance period would not last 3 days, not 3 months, but 1 year and 4 months. The game would eventually be relaunched under a separate
That is wild.
title, Muv-Luv Dimensions.
Honestly, but dude, I need to make a fucking game, okay? I need to make a mobile game because I think I can make a good mobile game. At least that's fun.
With the core gameplay loop intact and all the critical bugs fixed. Dimensions released in Japan on July 11, 2023. It's still ongoing right now, and recently they just announced a collab with 86, which I thought was pretty cool. The game isn't swimming in popularity judging by the amount of views and interactions on their YouTube channel, but it's definitely enough to keep afloat for now. But in terms of the
I mean, it's a gacha game. A gacha, your typical gacha game can make a profit and be ridiculously lucrative with 100 players if a couple of them are fucking whales. That's the reality. That's just how wild the world is.
original Immortals title, that version of the game is now just a distant relic of the past. So, let's talk about the aftermath of this situation. What on earth happened? Why did a game-breaking bug like this slip through testing? Well, for one, there was no testing. See, in early 2021, Anchor released a video on their YouTube channel outlining their plan for the year. They foresaw that it was going to be a challenging 12 months for the indie company. Because if you look on the chart, they announced a lot of different projects, including the sequels that will round up the Muv-Luv franchise, Resonative and Integrate, which have not released yet. There's Project Mikhail, a single-player mecha battler with a similar feel to something like Armored Core. This is actually available on Steam right now in early access, though
look at that. 600 reviews mixed. Not good.
in early access. Though since there seems to be quite a number of issues with controls and general responsiveness, I doubt this project will ever be finished. There's also something called Muv-Luv Verse, which is advertised as a virtual theme park web project thing where you can interact with the characters that
I have no idea what those words honestly even mean, so, you know, it is what it is, I guess. Oh, wow. That is one hell of a situation. So, but it's back after yet a year? Like, why did it take so long to get back? It's like, doesn't seem like a smart choice, not gonna lie. Oof. Well, anyway, this is kind of as wild as it gets. Seichi, 10 out of 10. Bye.